nephews, probably the last video on this topic, but we're going to talk about Starlight in the Deep. Now, Starlight in the Deep is very heavy to this story. She's a very naive girl, comes into the town, comes in, becomes a superhero, gets accepted to the Seven, gets sexually assaulted. This is a very important storyline. I understand that. Her hate with the Deep runs deep. I accept that. Should there be a fight between Starlight and Deep? Absolutely. Should have happened in the finale? I don't know. You see, the problem is, we gotta take down Homelander. And amongst the boys, there's only one person that can fly. Starlight. So now you have the situation where freaking Ryan is watching TV at the end, and he sees Homelander is fighting all these people, and he has to come save the day. But you already have somebody that can fly, like Starlight, who can make sure Homelander doesn't fly away in the middle of the fight. Therefore, you don't need Ryan in that room in the Oval Office. But you see, the reason why she wasn't in the Oval Office was because she was fighting the Deep. Now, you have this very important task. We have to stop Homelander. So why did she decide to fight the Deep in the middle of the main fight? It doesn't make any sense. She could have just picked up this guy, because Starlight can carry people and fly them away. And she could have put him on the top of a mountain, top of a building, top of anything else, except put him on a freaking beach and decide to fight him. Do you understand what the Deep's power is? To command the water and the legions of the sea? So you put him in a home turf advantage, and you decide to spend your time fighting the Deep when you're supposed to fly back and help with Homelander? Please, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And then what does she do? She drops him in the water, where he has significant advantage. She doesn't know that the fish hate the Deep. She doesn't know this. But she just like, oh yeah, I'm just rocking this fight. I'm having such a great time. Let me just make it harder for myself and throw him in the water. How does that make sense? Let me tell you this. The way the Deep died, I didn't mind. Now, an octopus stabbing his butt and coming out of his mouth, I have an issue with that. Octopus can't make their arms that tight. I don't believe in that. But I really think they could have just added a couple more effects and had the sharks eat him at the end. I think that would have been kind of cool. They just made him get stabbed and like showed him for a second, and then the scene ends. They could have had like a shark frenzy coming in there or whatever. But anyway, Starlight versus Deep doesn't make sense. It could have happened earlier, not in the middle of the Homelander fight. And she should have brought him to the water, but I guess that does make it a little bit more exciting to watch as a final battle between the Deep and Starlight. But in that case, she should have just met him at the beach, not take him from the White House and fly him to the beach. Doesn't make sense. And she didn't know about the fish and the sharks and all the other sea creatures hating him, and like it was on sight for him if he touched the water. She didn't know that. That was bad writing.